Hi, I'm Nick McLean with Four Pillars Investors. I have almost 20 years of experience in private equity, mergers and acquisitions, investment banking, you name it. I've created a course, a small segment of which follows, and it really is just a very small segment. What jobs are the most secure? Now, I think there is a feeling that if you work for a large company that has very stable finances, that's a very safe job. My opinion is not at all. If you look at these large corporations, what you see is that, well, at least in my opinion, they demand of the employees a level of commitment that they're not willing to reciprocate. If a deadline needs to be hit, well, you have to stay after work or give up family activities so that you can get that done. What happens when there's a bump in the economy or the company has a bad quarter? Mass layoffs. So whereas they're willing to require you to work extra just so they can achieve their goals, if the slightest mishap happens, you could be out of the job. That doesn't sound very safe to me at all. This was part of the reason why I wanted to pursue a career where I had a little bit more control over my own destiny. It didn't always start out that way. I want to tell you my story, not because I need to hear myself talk. I hear myself talk plenty, don't need to hear myself talk anymore. But instead, I want to share it so that one, I can establish some credibility so you can see that I'm not just an internet guru or whatever, but also talk about the various challenges and changes within me as a person that I had to go through as I not only purchased a business, but as I ran that business. Starting off, even as early as I would say high school, I had my career all mapped out. I tell you what, I had a perfectly planned going to go to a top tier school for industrial engineering. After engineering, I was going to pursue a career maybe in consulting, work there for 2 to 5 years, go back and get my MBA, probably from Harvard. Then I would work at a big company for 20, 30 years, rise through the ranks until I was CEO. How could that plan not come to fruition? Well, turns out there were a lot of parts in that path that didn't come even close to what I expected. Now, I didn't get into my top choices for undergrad, but I did pursue industrial engineering, went to Georgia Tech my freshman year, and then ultimately transferred to Mizzou to finish out my education. I can tell you more about that if you'd be interested. But after undergrad, did go into consulting for about 2.5 years, went back and got my MBA, applied to Harvard. I didn't even get an invitation to interview, so you can see how effective my application was. So that was one early failure, but did get into Michigan, University of Michigan, which is good school. That's where my mindset really started to shift. At Michigan, realized there was all these companies in the lower middle market, private equity, M&A, and that's what really appealed to me. And that's when I made the change from pursuing a big CEO at a big company to maybe owning my own business. Even after grad school, though, a lot of setbacks. After I'd be working in a job for 6, 12, 18 months, I realized that I didn't really like the job, borderline hated it. After 1 or 2 of those, you can chalk it up to bad luck for making a bad decision or changing conditions or whatever. After 5 or 6, really got to start looking at yourself in the mirror and understand that perhaps it's your own personal characteristics or personality that is driving this, not the individual job. Never thought of myself as an entrepreneur because didn't have an idea for a better mousetrap or a killer app. However, there's a flavor of entrepreneurism that resonates with me, entrepreneurship through acquisition, ETA, that we're talking about here, that I wasn't familiar with, but the idea of owning my own business really was a way for me to check off the boxes that I wanted to as it related to my career, at least at that point. Throughout the early parts of the process, I heard a lot of no's from business owners to SBA loan officers to you name it. There were times where years later, I'd be talking to somebody and they'd say, you know what? I remember talking to you very early on. Essentially all you had was the shirt on your back and a business card, and you told me you were going to buy a business. What they didn't say at least to me, was that in addition to that, in their heads, they said that they thought I was crazy, because a lot of folks probably did. I will say that 10 years ago is a little bit different than it was now. I feel like the ETA movement is much more advanced. There's a lot more people out there trying to buy businesses, but still, you're going to encounter a lot of the same resistance that I did. So be prepared. Regardless, getting past all that opposition and all those challenges, you fast forward to today, we've been around for about 10 years now. We've completed 8 transactions. 4 of those transactions are SBA deals. Another 4 of those transactions are with private equity firms, so they are a little bit larger. And what I will tell you is that, does it get easier? I really don't think it does. I firmly believe that after that first deal, maybe after the second deal, I have a partner, our early goal was to buy 2 businesses, one for me to run, one for him to run. After we got those 2 deals done, man, I thought we just had it made and it was gonna be smooth sailing. But man, that might be the area in which I have been the most wrong, is because it doesn't matter how many deals you do, every deal is hard to get done. Now, some deals will be harder due to a variety of factors, but don't think that once you get the deal closed, you are on easy street. Forget about that. Forget about buying other companies. Even after you buy that first business, you're still not on easy street. As hard as it was to buy a business, running the business is going to be a huge challenge as well. And that needs to be part of the mindset that you have going into this process. Now, I know you probably have heard from a lot of internet gurus talking about buying boring businesses and it's so easy and this and that. Well, first off, I already talked about how easy it is. It's definitely not. But also what I want to highlight is that there's the portrayal that buying small businesses is relatively risk-free. It is not. Even though the default rate on SBA loans is relatively low, that doesn't mean there's not a lot of challenges and, quite frankly, a lot of disturbances and even bankruptcies for SBA and other small businesses. Just because a business is boring does not mean that the level of risk is lower than any other business. Now, what I will tell you though is, as it relates to those some of those internet gurus, I am not a content creator first. I am an operator of businesses first. We have closed deals with a total enterprise value of almost $100 million. I am creating this content because a couple of reasons. One is we're 4 pillars investors. We're in Kansas City, Missouri, not in New York, Chicago. Building a brand or building brand awareness of my company is important. And I do want to build brand awareness through content. That being said, I've learned a lot through this process. I like to help people. However, the amount of time that it would be required to help folks buy a business, I simply can't afford that. So there was this desire to help people, yet I couldn't dedicate all that time. The answer for me was to develop a course so that others could learn from this, albeit at a price, and I would still be able to impart that knowledge and help folks along the way. Now, I'm not saying you should think that I'm some magnanimous soul because I'm willing to impart this information. If I were, I'd just give away this information for free, which I'm not. But part of the rationale for going through all this and being as candid as I can is to show that, 1, we've done a lot of deals. 2, I have done this repeatedly and refined my methods over time. And 3, you get what you pay for. And if I wanted to give away a free course, then I can guarantee you I wouldn't have spent the hours and hours and hours that I have developing this content. Now, I'm not saying that this course is going to be the end-all, be-all for everyone. However, at the very least, if you do want to buy a business, I think you owe it to yourself to at least check it out, learn a little bit more about it, and see if this might be the right next step for you, for your career, and for your family. Thanks for watching.